Good afternoon, everybody. It is now 4 minutes past 12 noon this Tuesday lunchtime, the 21st of October. It's Jim White and it's Simon Jordan, and we are live on talkSPORT. Coming to you live. What are you looking so happy about?
Oh, some of my friends just said something rude to me.
All right, that's fine. I was just about to burst into the usual. We are live everywhere, not only on talkSPORT, but live on your TV, wherever your TV is taking you. Samsung, LG, Fire TV, even Prime Video. You're watched everywhere between the hours of 10 and 1. Weekdays live.
Chromecast.
On talkSPORT, Chromecast, Android, Google TV, the lot. The list goes on. You can get us wherever you want to try to get us. A touch of boxing for you, because this took a few people by surprise, but now at least we know. Oleksandr Usyk, what did he do last time out? He demolished Daniel Dubois. He's pretty much taken care of everybody who has stood in front of him. So it begged the question, Oleksandr Usyk, does retirement beckon? Absolutely not. 2 more years of Oleksandr Usyk, 2 more years of him fighting, and no doubt carrying on where he left off. Earlier on this morning, I spoke to Igis Klimas, his manager, and I said to him, how do you feel about a couple more years of Oleksandr in the ring?
I'm very pleased on his decision. He wants to stay busy, and he wants to, to keep boxing in this position. And that's his decision. He feels like he has a lot left in him. And as he said in the last fight, after the last fight, he said, this is just the beginning.
Did he ever consider retirement, Igis? Was that ever on the cards?
I never heard from him where I am tired, I don't have motivation, I don't want to do this no more. He was always for continuing in this sport.
Tyson Fury has asked to fight him again. Does Oleksandr want that? Do you want that?
I don't know. We have to see in a situation what is available, and he already won against Fury 2 times. His fans wants it. That's the question would be, not to me. That question would be to fans. Can they sell a stadium? Well, we don't know. And Tyson Fury said he wants to fight. Does he really wants to fight? My guy is ready. He's training. He said he's retired. Tyson, we never know. He goes in retirement. He comes back from retirement. He wants to fight again. Then the next day he doesn't want to fight. We really don't know. We're just going to be continuing what is for sure, what is for real.
I know what you think of your man and your fighter, Igis. Is there anybody out there who could beat Oleksandr Usyk?
It's boxing. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But as his stamina, as his IQ boxing, as his movement, as his thinking in the fight, I don't think nobody is there as now.
And that was that. With that, Igis Klimas boarded a flight to the US and off he went. Simon, what do you think? Usyk fights until he's 41. Did you see that coming?
Well, I thought he might have retired in the ring after beating Daniel Dubois, because there was very little left for him to do. He'd beaten all the perceived best heavyweights in the division. There are arguments that he should be given opportunities in the same way that he talks about himself. He talks about, because first of all, he's an absolute class operator in every way, Usyk, from the way he carries himself to what he does in the ring. But he talks about the opportunity that he was afforded Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, given that fight 3 or 4 years ago, catapulted him. So I'm surprised that he doesn't facilitate opportunities for Joseph Parker and Ajit Kabiel, who are really up there with the opportunity to fight for the belts that he currently holds. I've also heard him say that he's had no intention of fighting Moses Atama, because he says that Moses Atama is not one for him, and then ultimately Moses Atama himself has said, I don't bash up grandpas. So he's used that language against him. There is nobody around at this moment in time that I think can beat Oleksandr Usyk. The interesting thing would be why, if you start putting Joshua and Fury into the mix to fight Usyk, it's inherently unfair to those guys that have been active, fighting for their mandatory positions, that get elbowed out of the way for Fury to get another go when he's been bashed up twice. Frank Warren can dispute that all he wants. He lost both of those fights, and Anthony Joshua the same. So the key for Oleksandr Usyk is, what does he want to fight for? Because the money in the room, with respect to his remarkable achievements, isn't Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and arguably, not arguably, factually the best heavyweight around, and best heavyweight of his generation. But the money goes to Fury, and it goes to Joshua. They're going to get more. Still. So how do you get Usyk? If Usyk fights Parker, this ain't selling out a stadium. Not anywhere significant, quite frankly. It might in Ukraine if he fights over there, if he's able to fight in Ukraine, if that situation had been resolved. But the difficulty is Usyk is the best fighter, deserves all the money. But the backstory, as we know, goes with nostalgia. People are going to watch that old tosh between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank and wax lyrical about it when you've got a bona fide world star like Oleksandr Usyk that doesn't quite get the same financial opportunities that say Joshua and Fury would get, and he's vanquished them both.
So if he was to fight next, and he will fight next, and an announcement comes along, he will fight X. Who is the X? Who's the name that would make you think, yeah, I've got to be there. I'm going to go.
No, I am a huge admirer of Usyk. I've picked against him every single time, some of that with my heart and marginally with my head. As a boxing fan, I want to see the guys that have earned their right to get shots at world titles be given their opportunity. And that means, well, Joe Parker's got the little matter of Fabio Wardley to deal with on the weekend, which makes it incredibly admirable he's taken this fight, because it's a huge risk for Joe Parker. He's no reason to take the Fabio Wardley fight. He should be getting a world title shot. He's been, looked past because Usyk's injured and couldn't have the fight with Daniel Dubois because Daniel Dubois pulled out. So the other one is Caballero, because I think those two are arguably the best heavyweights around right now.
Right.
That are both on good runs of form.
Right.
And it's a live one. But again, I still think it's unlikely in my mind's eye now, I'm now a fully paid up member of the Oleksandr Usyk fan club, that I see anyone beating him.
You don't see Parker beating him?
No, I don't. I think
you don't see Wardley beating him?
Oh, no, with respect to Fabio.
Caballero beating him?
I think Caballero is the one that comes in my mind, but I still think there's a class difference between Oleksandr Usyk. The only thing that happens to Oleksandr Usyk is does he get old overnight? He doesn't live his life the way people do when they get old overnight.
No.
He lives his life like an absolute Spartan.
Yeah. You know what I love about Usyk? And when he joined us, we were on the second floor, weren't we? A different studio during the summer. And Dubois and Usyk came in that day. You get absolutely, how can I describe it? You get no BS with Usyk or any of his people, including Igor Klimas, who we just heard from. They tell it as it is. He says, I'm going to fight again. I don't know who. In fact, I'd be lying if I gave you a name.
Because they don't have to do anything else. Because when you've got, it's like when you see, when you meet big stars, they tend to have the smallest riders. When you get the little jumped up influencers and, celebrity reality stars that have got great big riders, I need this in my dressing room. Yeah. The big superstars have got nothing to prove, nothing no need to give it the big I am. And so I think with people like Oleksandr Usyk, they are absolutely, look at them, just look at the body of work. It's there. It's unanswerable.
But I'm amazed that you don't think he'd sell at a stadium as a result of that. Because the best heavyweight of his generation.
Because people look for something else as well. They look for a backstory and they look for something more. And there's always, when you've got Tyson Fury in a room, like him or loathe him, and I happen to do both in equal measure. I admire him incredibly, and I dislike some of the things that come out of his mouth. And we can all put that down to his condition. I don't. I think that put it down to a choice. He's pig ignorant at times. But as a fighter and as a spectacle and as a box office star, he's world class. Anthony Joshua, he operates in a different space. He gives people a different set of feelings because people think he was the poster boy for British boxing, carried it back into a certain space. And Anthony occupies a different level of precedence. But he's the golden boy. Oleksandr Usyk is the best of the lot, but maybe because he comes from a certain part of the world where people don't have that much interest besides what's going on in the Ukraine war. But ultimately, we look at that period of time when the Klitschko's dominated heavyweight boxing. It wasn't the most uplifting time. It wasn't the best time for boxing in terms of the quality of fights that we got to see.
Yeah.
But Usyk, of them all, as the sportsman, as the statesman, miles above all of them.
Yeah.
Miles above all of them.
I agree. Absolutely love the guy. And this is as good a time as any to tell you that the latest episode of Top Boxing with Simon Jordan, Spencer Oliver, Paul Smith and Fraser Clark is available now on the Top Boxing YouTube channel. How lucky are you? It's coming up to 12:15.